Hey guys, welcome. So for today's video, I've decided to do 25 books in 2026 and my reading goals. So we're gonna start off with the reading goals. So first up, my goal for the year for the amount of books I want to read is, I want to say 40 because last year I think I had to move down my goal twice. And honestly, 50 books a year was a bit much for me last year, only due to the amount of stress I was beginning of the year, and some work changes as well. Not saying that that's why I stopped reading, but I found it a bit harder to read, and I wasn't really motivated to read, so that's another issue. So I would take 40 books for the whole year. Should be good. Half of these are going to be part of the 25 books of 2026. The other thing is to use Libby and Spotify more. I think I've done it towards the last 2 months of 2025 where I was using Libby and Spotify a bit more to finish some books, and honestly, I was a huge Libby KU lover when I first started. And instead of buying like the physical copy, reading it first, see if I like it, see if I want to buy it. Because right now I have a huge amount of books that I have to read, and it's very overwhelming in a way due to I want new releases, obviously, and I still have books from 2 to 3 years ago. So my next goal is to actually cut down on my buying. So I would say the only books I will be allowed to buy are any new release books, any anticipated reads that I have. I will do a separate video on that. So those are ones I want to cut down. I want to cut down the amount of books I buy in general. I know there are special editions, which I am trying to collect the off-campus series ones, the Barnes& Noble's edition, and that's gonna be one of the ones I'm gonna have to break my will on, is buying those special editions. I already have the deal. I want to mistake the goal and the deal. So is that I need to get better at what books to spend my money on, because there's some books where I'm like, cool, I bought it. Don't think I'll read it. And if I do, I might read it on my phone or my Kindle or my iPad, even sometimes on my laptop. So it's, why do I have a physical copy when I could read it elsewhere? The next one goes with this is going to the actual library. I have one that's walking wise 30 minutes away. So I would like to go there, check out some books, read them. The same thing, if I'm able to get the audiobook from my library, I wouldn't mind it. I need to get better at my spending habits. So the next one is trying new genres. I am a very creature of habit. I love romance, fantasy, romantasy, that I have dabbled into mystery romance or in thriller romance. They have a romance subplot, which is the only way I'm able to read any of those. So I would say trying a new genre, which I would be interested in going into maybe the mystery thriller route. But I am scared of cats, so don't know how true that's gonna be. And then going along with this is finishing series I've started. So before I start a new series, which I know some mystery thriller books are part of a series, I want to finish off whatever I started, or see if I can go through the list, cut down what series I will not be continuing, and so on. But that's another one I want to do. Would say I would also want to get more into fantasy. I was huge into fantasy, I want to say 2024, around that time frame, and I let it go. I don't know why. I think because the amount of pages in a fantasy book did put me off a bit, only because I'm like, oh cool, 500 pages, do I really want to read 500? The goal for the year is actually keeping up with my reading journal. I really didn't keep up with my reading journal at all last year, and it's something that I would say I'm trying to get better at it with different layouts that I want to do. I just realized a full page layout for one book is not ideal for me, especially if I don't like the book. So on to the books that I plan to read. I would say some of these I did classify a certain bit, since I do want to cut down on my on-haul list. I want to read some of the books. If I like them enough, I can keep them. If not, I'm either selling them on Pingo, donating them to the library, or going to a little library and just putting them So first one is Stalking Jack the Ripper by Karen Maniscalco. I would say this book is only on here because it is like a mystery thrilling book where I am a big chicken, and I know it's about Jack the Ripper and stalking him, and it gives like there's pictures I think of like the murders. No, there's I would say what I don't like in a thriller it's the gore part or anything where it mentions like Grim Weaver does it and it's like I cut his eyeballs, anything like that, anything like gore related. I will give this one a try and I will see if I like it. If I do, I will continue on with the series, but I don't know if I would keep the book. So that's the first one. The next one is Superman by Mate La Peña, and I am a sucker for Superman. I love Henry Cavill and all the movies he's came out in as Superman, so that's who I'm gonna be picturing for this book. I do like the DC universe, so I'm very excited to read this and see if it and of it. The other two that are part of my unhaul for this is Alpha Kaden. Kaden, I'll pop up a picture. It's somewhere in my bookshop. I really don't know it. There's that one I've read when I didn't read it all. I read 3 or 4 chapters on Wattpad when it was coming not a bigger thing. It was becoming more common for authors to only let 3 or 4 chapters out of the book and people start paying for the rest of the book. So I read quite a bit of I read the whole plot line of the book, so I just need to see how well it was executed and see if I remember like the beginning parts. So there's that. The last one is Come Back to Me by Mila Gray. I think this is all Soldier Army-esque vibes. I have the other 4 physically, the other one I do not. So I want to start off. The other one, I think I have it on Kindle. So if I like it enough, it's going to stay on my Kindle. Same thing. If not, oh well, it's gone. Now, on to the other reads. I have quite a few Kindle reads as well, but that's it for my unhaul part, my unhaul books to read in 2026. So, first up, we have Soul Searching by Lila Sage. This one, it's a home is where the heart is, and this one is haunted. So this is a small town up soldier, also in need of a fresh start, a photographer whose life comes to a screeching halt that supernatural forces them being forces that are bringing them together. Sorry, words are hard today. So excited to read this. I love the Rebel Blue Branch series that she made, and I'm excited to see her dip into fantasy is gonna go. Very excited for this one. Next one is The Tourist Season by Bryn Weaver. I love Bryn Weaver. I love the Betrayed and Blackbird series. So I'm excited for this one. This one I know vaguely what it's about. Welcome to Cape Carnage. Visit once, stay forever. So this is a quickly delicious new series where a dark romantic comedy meets a thrilling suspense and where falling in love can be a killer. Tourist Season is a darkly funny, slow burn, enemies to lovers romance where destruction and desire are balanced on the edge of a blade and where love is the most dangerous battleground of all. I'm excited to read this one. Like I said, I enjoy her writing and these are the types of thrilling romances that I like. So yes, it's in no order. So next up we have Told You So by Macy Neely. I do watch The Secret Lives of Modern Wives. I would say her, Macy, Taylor, and Jesse are my favorite. But since I saw she came out with a memoir, I'm like cool because I've heard about her story and I want to see more about her. I would say I like her out of all of them. But yeah, so it's a memoir about her life experiences she had with him. Next up we have Once Upon a Broken Heart by Stephanie Gerber. I read the Caraval series. I loved it. This I believe is Jack's story, but you meet him in the Caraval books, and I'm excited to see his journey with his true love. Then we have The Graham Effect by Elle Kennedy. I believe this was in my 25 book to read in 2025. I do have a huge love for the off-campus series, and this you have Hannah and Garrett's daughter here, and I do want you see Garrett, you see Logan, you see Tucker, you see Dean. What else do you want? Alright, next one I think was also in my 25 books to read in 2025. But it's City of Ashes by Cassandra Clare. This is the second book in the Mortal Instruments series. And this, I read the first book, did not like the way it ended, because if that was the whole point of that book where you find out about the main character, I was not gonna read it, but people ended up spoiling. So this one, you have Clarice and Simon, who is her best friend. They go out. Yeah, they go out. They see she sees something she's not supposed to. Is put into this world of knowing supernatural beings exist, and finds out that her mom has been kidnapped by said supernatural beings. So this is the continuation of this one. Next up, we have A Court of Rain and Ruin by Sarah J. Maas. This is another that I believe was in my 25 books to read in 2025. Casey, I did not read a single book. This one we follow Farah, in which she is the main provider of her family. She ends up killing something she's not supposed to, is taken into the Bay Lands as a prisoner for killing one of those beings. And in there you meet I want to say the prince. You see the story that unravels the ending. This is the third book, and honestly I might reread the first two books, because why not? I'm gonna relive the second book. So next up we have Throne of the Fallen by Karen Maniscalco. This continues off the Kingdom of the Wicked series, so I believe each brother will have their own book. This one, I don't know who it's about. Envy. Oh yeah. Honestly, I don't know much about this book. I want to go in a bit blindly, then after that. Next up, we have another book that was in my 25 books to read in 2025. Still haven't read it, and I think it's been on my TBR for countless months. A few years ago back. So it's The Inheritance Game by Jennifer Lynn Barnes. There is this girl who is just trying to survive high school, get a scholarship to go to college. But in that, she ends up being the sole heir of this billionaire, and she has to answer a few riddles. She has to live in the house where his said billionaire's family lives. They believe she's a con artist. So there's that. I'm excited to read this. So there's that. Alrighty. On to the books that I don't have on me. So it's Phantasmia by Kaylee Smith. This, I was told, I saw that it's like Carnival, but taken up a bit on a bigger notch. I don't know how true that is, but I'm excited to read that one. The next one is I Need You to Love Me by Genesis. This, I believe, is the second book to I Need You to Hate Me by Genesis. I read the first book when it was firstly published, and I didn't know I had a sequel until now. So I'm excited to dive into this universe again and see what the characters have been up to, and see the female lead and a male lead. Next up we have Unsteady by Penn Peyton Courtney. This is a hockey romance. That is all I know. Hockey, put my name on it. Right on Cue by Fallon Ballard. This I don't know much about. I don't remember much, but I wrote it here for a reason. So it must have intrigued me at the time. Now, the other ones there's one I have to finish, which is Conversations on Love by Natasha Liu, I think. That one, I think I'm 50% through with that one, and I've been taking breaks on and off reading it. Only because I want the physical copy so I can annotate. There's parts where I'm like, oh, I really wish I had the physical copy so I can annotate. So there's that. Then we have the Let Them Theory by Mel Robbins. This had a it still has a huge popularity. And honestly, I want to read only because I've seen her podcasts, basically Unfiltered. No, basically, pretty basically. The one with Alicia and Remy, that one. So I'm excited to read that one. And then I put 5 books into my new release, only because these are for sure going to get read by me. So we have Just Friends by Haley Pham, The Wretched Divine by Adeline Grace. I love the Belladonna series, so I want to see what else she has up her sleeve with this one. We have Under the Oak Tree by Soon Kim, I think. This one was a webtoon or web comic. I've read the first two comics. I want to read the novelized version as well. So both the comic and the novelized will be coming out this year. But for the sake of this, it is the comic that I want to read. Then we have Beauty and the Demon by Aurora Asher. That one is so my funny Valentine came in. Demon with Benefits, Guardian Demon, the fifth book in this series. So I'm excited for that one. And then the last one is Loving a Witch is Totally Foolish by Aurora Hayes. This one is, honestly, Aurora Hayes is a new found author for me because I read, I forget the first book in the series, but I read that and I truly did enjoy it. So I'm excited for this her next new book. So those are the 25 books that I want to read in 2026 and my reading goals for this year. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next.